Hey, Pasa Mufasa. It's that screenwriter, director, producer, Walt Diddy. I'm saluting you. Welcome, Weekends with Walt Diddy. Sitting in, and I know you're used to seeing Wellington Pumpernickel over there, but he has the night off. That is Doctor. I have a PhD in studio with me. Top this. Dr. Red Pill Bearstein is in the house. Shout out to you, Doc. He's stopping by because we're going to be talking about a little bit of mental, spiritual, however you want to classify it, spiritual health, all with dropping stuff. This great film. We're going to do some film theory. But before we do, let's do a little bit of housekeeping. This episode of Weekends with Walt Diddy is sponsored by A-Game, which is a herbal male supplement. What is this herbal male supplement going to do for you men and or women? It's going to make you the best from the boardroom to the boudoir. From the weight room until, whatever you're doing out there on the construction or whatever we do, but it's going to add vitality. What does vitality mean? It's what keeps us young, fit, able to go be builders, not destroyers. Go to agame.com. That is www.agameherbal.com. Till I get a promo code, use the promo code SHEEP, sheep by 10. I guarantee you're going to get 10% off. Also, this episode is sponsored by a book that I wrote, Healing Your Emotional Timeline. I'm guaranteeing you this, that the past will keep you from your future. Don't let that happen. By now, all that mouth I just ran, and shout out to Dr. Bearstein. That's Red Pill. That's Red Pill right there. You got to be wondering what you're talking about, Walt Diddy. Pretty much when not to trust the soul, and it's all powered by a great Denzel Washington movie. And I'm here to tell you, what you're going to learn in this film theory is amongst the fallen, do not trust the soul. This is some movie motivation. As you can see on thumbnail, that is Mr. Denzel Washington. And we're going to be talking about and studying the 1998 great film. I'm not going to try to put a lot of spoilers there. A great piece of cinema, esoteric science, biblical teachings, all wrapped into the 1998 movie Fallen, starring Denzel Washington, John Goodman, and Donald Sutherland. And we're talking about really prominent actors in this conversation. And we're going to be talking about, like I said, some biblical teachings and lessons that I hope a lot of you will heed the warnings from this movie. Excuse me if you hear any clicking in the back. I need to buy myself a new mouse. It is being a butthole. But as mentioned, this movie is starring a young can have any chocolate woman he want. Denzel Washington. That's right. I think this is fresh off the success of The Pelican Brief that was starring Denzel Washington and a young Sandra Bullock. Not Sandra Bullock, excuse me. The same woman that played Erin Brockovich. She'll come back to me sooner or later. Oh, that is a great thing. A shout out to someone just hit the super chat. Shout out to you, Queena, for being in the house. Someone just subscribed. There we go. Bro Man Class, shout out to you for subscribing to the channel. That means a lot to me. But as I said, we're going to be talking about the 1998 movie Fallen. So let's start right there. We've heard a lot about fallen angels, fallen men, fallen women. Stay with me on this. It took me a while to put this together when it finally came to me. But there's a young Denzel Washington who plays a detective named John. He's been John in quite a few movies, up to including John Q, and he has the detective role down pat. But you can see him with a fresh 1990s haircut, a la Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, doing his thing, looking amazing. As mentioned, there he is with co-star and partner John Goodman, who comes to us from Roseanne fame, which I recommend every family. Roseanne was and is the modern day Good Times for non-chocolate people. If you watched Roseanne, it was only a click above Good Times, Scratching and Surviving. He tried to run his own business. Anyway, that's another video I'm going to make it. I promise you that. But that's what you're seeing there. You're seeing a young John Goodman, right? So let's go to IMDb. We're going to share just a little bit of the trailer. We're asking for fair use on this, please. YouTube, please. Warner Brothers, please. IMDb for educational purposes only. That I can assure you. But there's Denzel in action. I did mention this story, this film, this masterpiece is starring Denzel Washington, John Goodman, who is from The Big Lebowski and Roseanne fame, and Donald Sutherland, who is just a masterful actor that you've seen in countless amounts of movies that I can absolutely assure you of. We'll come back to that just a little bit, and we're going to put in a trailer. But what I want you to see here is, let's get to this slide. Wham! Mention a young Denzel Washington, right, playing a detective. And there he is with John Goodman. So we're moving kind of fast, but that's where we want to stop. I want you to let those slide by and start putting some images in your mind. Put a few images in your mind. There's the trailer. Supernatural thriller. All right. And I promised you that we're not going to do any types of spoilers, but here's what's going on. I showed you Denzel Washington and John Goodman. They are detectives working on a huge case. Huge case where there's, let's call him the classic serial killer, the Joker, this Riddler character that we're getting. That's what we find in this movie, Fallen. This is the actual one sheet. This is what we call in movies, like you see that one, just in a small frame, but it's the one sheet, the movie poster. Your movie poster and or your one sheet tells the entire movie. So there you see, that was from 1998, what we officially got. I'm 4 years out of high school. It's a great movie. Denzel Washington, John Goodman, Fallen. But read what we call a slug line. A slug line tells you the entire movie. If you've seen Ride Along, starring Ice Cube and Kevin Hart, what was the movie about? Ride Along. If you think about the classic comedy Blazing Saddles, the title's kind of telling you what it's all about. And then under there's a sentence that explains not only the title, but the context and the content all in one. So the name of this movie is Falling. Under it, it says, don't trust a soul. And if you look directly under don't trust a soul, you see something that could appear to be an angel, an angelic figure, right? But this is not the heavenly bliss angelic figure that you're seeing right here. So I want you to keep that in mind. This is Denzel Washington, co-starring John Goodman, in a movie called Fallen, where the slug line, the sentence under the title, that's telling you like Star Wars, A New Hope. So what does that tell you? A new hope. What was going on was old was not working. Here comes something new, and we got hope again. Fallen. Don't trust. So very interesting. And then we're going to get into actually what we're trying to do with said film theory. Once again, there's your movie trailer, the Supernatural. See it moving real quick. There go the detectives, Denzel, gone to solve the case. So there's that. And let's get into the business. My mouse is acting badly. Bam. There we go. So we're into film theory now. It's Denzel, the classic movie, the two cops, the friends, the friendships, right? This movie is all about showing us in real time how what we consider good and evil, how fast evil And it takes good a long time to catch up, but when it does, we know what usually happens. But there it is. This character here, without me ruining the movie, I'm not going to tell you how it ends. But this character not only represents an evil, a darkness in this movie land, but I want you to use it and think about it as an archetype, prototype, and a clear example of what we deal with in our regular lives. Who is we? We that are positive, we that believe in healing, we believe in self-accountability, we that believe in, listen, things is bad, but not everybody, and we should try to reach out to people that's not degenerate, disgusted, so broken that healing is not possible. This character that you see right here on screen represents this classic sociopath that we get in these types of movies. This is also a representative of the narcissistic person. The energies that we're all experiencing via social media, up to including this platform I'm on, at your job, your mosque, your synagogues, your shrines, whatever you're at. Think about how I'm going to explain the character and the relationship that Denzel and my man, that is your dude from Law and Order too. He's a masterful actor. He used to be on Oz. Watch how this relationship works. So he's the sociopath in the movie. This is what happens when Denzel Washington, they catch the man. He goes to prison. As you can see, that is a prison. Those are prison bars. He must pay the ultimate price for his sins, his crimes, what he's done to society. What he's done, you find out, you watch the movie. But that's the end result for him, the gas chamber. But to add drama, to give us the lesson, to make that mind, the subconscious, because some of you were just in the theater eating your popcorn, lost in the pictures, right? These are all pictures. You used to call them the moving pictures. That's really what they are. In a movie is told in pictures. A stage play, we are eavesdropping behind the third wall. And in books, mostly you get a lot of third person, right? Before he goes to meet whatever maker created him, he touches Denzel Washington. So if you remember the movie clip, the trailer I just showed you, it showed you and told you it was a supernatural type story. I'm here to tell you that negative energy, hate, lies, deceit is a supernatural power. I'm here to tell you that people that actually know what they are and know they practice narcissism must have it, must have their supply, must send out flying monkeys, are receiving a supernatural energy, force, whatever you want to call it. So there is our said antagonist, who should be in every movie. There's a protagonist, right? It's all about who the person is, what they want, what's going to happen if they don't get it. That's every movie. Got an antagonist who does things, he or she, to put obstacles in our hero's journey and or just trying to destroy him, which creates obstacles. So how could this man create obstacles for the Denzel Washington, John Goodman character? I'll tell you. He touches Denzel. Denzel, as you don't see him in there, but he's there right there. Every cop, every FBI agent, whatever, when they finally catch the man as someone as sinister as he or she that's on screen over here, they're going to be there. Talk to the family, to, whatever it is they do. He touches Denzel. What happens when he touches Denzel? He sings a song before he ends, a great Rolling Stone song. Time is on my side. Yes, it is. Time. Anytime you've ever heard that in a movie, something bad is going to happen. Do you remember Con Air? Different song, same thing. He's got the whole world in his hand. The plane going down. Time's on my side. Time is on the side of evil. And this place was created however you want to think about it, analyze it, quantify it. That is good and evil. It's the duality. We running it. This world works in dualities and threes, twos and threes. Equal 5, creation. 5 a creative number. I don't know if you know that. I'm on the 23rd. It's a 5. We work off duality and the Trinity. Sorry. I'm going to continue. He touches Denzel. Guess what he tried to do? The purpose of touching Denzel was to put that evil spirit into Denzel. His spirit that you see here, the spirit of hate, all the 7 deadlies. Guess what? He cannot make a home there. Narcissism. And you remember I told you we're taking these characters and we're comparing them to what we experience in real life. Narcissism must have a certain type of host. Evil, darkness, even sickness. Sickness and illness cannot hang out in a healthy body for long. Parasites do not hang out in healthy bodies. I mean the imbalance. Think about these things. So for a person to be evil, or whatever you want to call it, must be a certain, it's a host. You've seen these movies like Alien, and anyway, where I'm going with this, what this gentleman lets off is the power of the fallen. When Denzel left and went out, he, though, could not be infected totally by that energy. He became a carrier. What are you saying, Walt Diddy? I'm glad you asked. Shout out to you. Can't believe Dr. Red Pill in the house. Appreciate it. What I'm telling you is we can be carriers of toxic energy. This is what I learned from this movie, and this is what we're going to talk about. Denzel became a carrier. When he went out to the public, when you watch the movie, you'll see that energy change. He does not know what has happened. He goes back to try to work on set case because things are still happening as they were, but yet and still, the homie here, he watched him singing "Time is on my side." Yes, it is. That's the Rolling Stones. Denzel did make one strategic error and leaned on his own understanding, which we know in Proverbs is not the thing a wise man does. When you don't know, you need to ask. So unknowingly, he went out and spreaded that energy, that plague. But as it always happens to the righteous, whether it's 1 year, 10 years, or 10 minutes before you expire, the light gonna come to you. A messenger, a omen, whatever you want to call it, a premonition. Here comes the young lady whose role and name I do not remember, does not matter. Schooled him. Took him to the book on how demonic energy, let's call it narcissism, vanity, jealousy, envy, spreads. You may not be that type of person, and to the core, I am not. I can say that with pride. I am not. But I can be carrier. And I'm going to show you how that's going to be so in just a moment. But basically what's going on, if you're just coming in, make sure you like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, please. We're talking about the 1998 movie Fallen, starring Denzel Washington. Everybody knows Denzel Washington. John Goodman from Roseanne fame. The Big Lebowski, if you've ever seen it, which is a great movie. And Donald Sutherland, who will not be mentioned much other than letting you know he's in the movie because his role is not relevant to this conversation. Denzel Washington catches his man. But what Denzel Washington did not know, that this man not only embraces the evil within him, he knows it. He knows it, he embraces it, he practices it. And just like every great evil sociopathic person, they must be caught. So think about your own life. People that sabotage you, they want to be caught. It's just only about strategic timing. They want you to know that they are the one abusing you. They want you to know that they have more than you and you help them get it. Not only do I have more than you now, I'm going to flaunt it in your face and you help me get it. That's what you'll learn from this movie. When he touches Denzel, Denzel Washington goes out back to the field. After this moment, his expiration, supposedly, Denzel goes back out to his detective life, not knowing that he's a carrier. When he touches his nephew is possessed, and guess what? The same events happen. So, how am I comparing this to our regular lives? Let's take something that we all know about, and that could be music and entertainment. Look at the flamboyancy and how they push the buck on who's boy, who's girl. That energy goes out and touches other entertainers, performers, and most of all, your chillins. That's what we call them down south, your children. The great Marcus Aurelius said, and I'm paraphrasing, that if you teach your kids anything, you teach them music and they can learn life. See, I don't do music, but I do music video editing. So I'm hearing the sound and it runs on 48s. 24s is frame rates. Really 25, but now who's? So go on beats. You heard Jay-Z use a term in one of his flows. I would say analogy that Jesus was a carpenter. Easy, he made beats. Carpenters are like musicians. Heard my brother Sheep talk about architects understand music or some type of a rhythm. We work on rhythm is where I'm going with that. A good, sick, evil, charlatan type of a person learn your rhythms. And they know how to touch you emotionally to get you to forfeit and submit your free will. Here's what you don't know. Those people that manipulate us, most often than not, only do it through our ego, lack of healing, and values. So I'm going somewhere with this, and I'm not going to take you there long, but let me show you now that I have your undivided attention. Appreciate it. Let me show you something real quick. And then you can just, what the devil you doing, Walt Diddy? I've been on one today. Give me just a minute. Boom. I've not done the best job of setting up a lot of my scenes because unfortunately I have a day job, which is a great thing. It's a value system that I rock with. It insulates me, right? Is it the be all end all? Probably, perhaps. You can find out. But I know spiritual, the internal 5 is very important, which is your spiritual health, which is going to lead to health, family, appearance, and dwelling, right? So just think about that for a second. Spiritually, in this movie, Denzel was strong. Strong enough where that energy did not consume him because that was what the villain wanted. To give Denzel that energy to curse him. But Denzel had a body that was spiritually strong enough that it could not host said energy. I want you to think about that. If you've ever been abused and manipulated or blah, 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 and you survived, that energy tried to latch onto you to either A, have you conform, or B, destroy you. Consider yourself blessed, lucky, whatever term you want to come up with, that means, hell yeah, you survived. Another reason that energy did not work and latch on to Denzel in that movie and that character in that time is because of his health. I showed you a very, very young Denzel. Let's look at it. Let's look at Denzel once again. And you'll kind of get the gist of where I'm going with it. Denzel was young in character. So when we cast movies, you want to make sure that those are some boxes that you check to show. That's Denzel. So very young. So why did this evil energy that passes, the supernatural energy in this movie by touch, though it latched on, it could not stay. Denzel was not a proper host because Denzel had a strong spiritual value system in this movie. His health was good. As you can see, dressed to impress at his very best. Wow, look at the barbership on that hair. Appearance was good. Family, we didn't know much about this movie, but he had a great relationship with his partner, the John Goodman character. He was a high moral man. His dwelling value was good. Denzel wasn't that down running around with $2 hoes. No, not in this movie. Maybe another movie, not in this one. It was not. So let's kind of look at this one more time, and then we're going to get back to film theory because I was telling you, I'll show you how I live. I'm not going to force it on you. That's your business, what you do. But Denzel in this movie, if you look at the internal five of this value system, he had high spiritual morals. He had great health. His family, which we didn't get to know about, and you can't in every movie, but we seen the family and the brotherhood he had with his partner. His appearance, he was clean cut, respected. And like I said, Denzel was not running around with $2 hoes. Back to comparing that character of the sociopath with our environment. How often do we see this on social media? The trend, the busted challenge. It represents the same as this movie when you can just touch somebody and spread evil energy. I made a scream, and you'll see Dr. Doom from the Fantastic Four on said thumbnail. Watch it. Evil is more powerful than good unless, and I'm going to be a spoiler on that, two or more must agree. I'm still waiting for the comment section to blow up where you can tell me how you identified, beat, and vanquished evil alone. I want to know that. Please share. By yourself. No help. Nobody told you what was coming, what was up, what was being plotted against you. By yourself. Because I do know this. There can be 9 of us in the room having a great time. Family reunion. Family reunion. It's the OJs. The 10th person come in with narcissistic me energy. Ain't nothing good enough. Everything is terrible, bad. You watch what happens to the 9 of us. 2, and then probably gonna be me and Sheep gonna figure it out quick and say, listen, man, we got to go. We gone. 4 that's left is too weak to do anything but sit there and confirm they don't want to offend nobody. And the other ones gonna join right in. It's called the 80-10-10 rule. 80% of people gonna conform, do what you ask them to do. 10% on the fence, 10% don't give a. But that 10% will infect the 10% that's on the fence, and it will go over the fence and start breaking off the 80%. It's not a matter if, but when in any walk of life, especially team sports. I don't watch them anymore, but you've heard it. 53-man locker room in the National Football League. You let 5 of them, 3 of them start becoming disgruntled. One's in the press every day, the other won't show up on practice, and the other one just can't stay out there choking $2 hoes. Whole team will fall. That is the game of life that we play. We are in a world where we don't wrestle against flesh and blood, but wickedness and spiritual blood. They're going to warning. If you think you're not being manipulated, you're being manipulated. You can look at who's popular in social media world. It's not the positive, someone that's giving it to you straight with life experience. That's when it first started. But as I was telling my brother Sheep, when we was talking, YouTube and a lot of these platforms have not, at its height, record profits, record viewership, record subscriptions, endured an economic recession. The last one was the housing bubble of 2007 and 8. There was no YouTube, was a baby. It was just not coming. It was nothing. Matter of fact, Soulja Boy made YouTube. You millennials should know that. You should be making videos about it. He made YouTube popular. If you chocolate or anybody that dig us, Soulja Boy made this place. Anyway. So your sectors, your gaming sectors, your men crying about what women doing, you women that cry about what men are doing, but nobody makes the streams or have the panels on. This is how we're going to change it. Except the A-Game family, which I'm a proud member. You've not experienced economic recession. So what's going to happen during economic recession? That's when the negative energies, the people that I described, like in this movie we're comparing life to, it's when they're going to get vicious. To avoid that narcissistic collapse, that loss of power, that loss of revenue, they must double down on the lies. They must go out and touch more people. They'll do more streams, more controversy. You cannot change anyone first and foremost, but I definitely here to tell anybody in the sound of my voice, you're not going to entice or motivate people to change by beating them down and beating them up. What I was 10 years ago does not affect who I am today, because I've taken the time to identify said faults, change, take accountability. What the hell else you want me to do? So you guys that go on and on about women, what the hell do you want them to do? It says clearly in the good book, when you was a kid, you acted like one. When you was 20-something, you acted 20-something. Stupid is, stupid does, stupid every day. That's why you never learn nothing. You don't come to places like this. So you're allowed to change and other people are not. So you one of those people that's on social media is going to touch somebody, is going to touch somebody, is going to touch somebody, is going to touch somebody. And then that next somebody will have a horrible experience, a horrible mental experience, a horrible physical experience, a horrible addiction experience. This is how it works. Let's go back to the power of music. You take the me narcissistic superstar. Wow, they, just like in this movie Following, touch so many people without touching the people. Do you understand that Michael Jackson, Prince, Madonna, Enrique Iglesias, they fall out? That energy in the wrong hands is weaponized, and it is now. I tell you in all my streams that life goes linear. I am not in the business of saving anyone. I am in the business of helping to provide a spot to help do my part to build a community of like-minded people that's going to survive and thrive what's coming. This movie is all about spiritual warfare. You're in the middle of the storm. You're in the middle of the storm. 2022, it shall rain cats and dogs of discomfort, disagreement, displacement, and dis-ease. I am sorry. Save your money with your super chats. No one will give a damn what the black man or black woman, white woman are doing in 2022 and 2023. I promise you that. As a matter of fact, your babies, I wanted that. They ain't getting the damn toy. It's out on the Port of Long Beach on a container that's not coming in. If you live in a major city, you shall begin to see shortages and pain. And the fallen will be out to touch people. In 2022, this next big political cycle, the fallen will be out to touch people. I'm on it. I have it as soon as I get through. Appreciate you, fam. Appreciate you. Finna wrap this up shortly anyway. See if I can catch another show. I hope Ronan put something on. I'm gonna come on and talk. I'm gonna start using StreamYard. Sheep, Sundays. I ain't forgot about the bill. Back to this, and we're gonna start wrapping it up. I'm here to tell you that without a value system, you're gonna be doomed, especially as a man, a chocolate man. And I've told you, as a non-chocolate man, you think we don't look? We can see. We can clearly see. I got an email and something for you too, Sheep. I can't touch it, but DC topped Superman. You're going to have an ish fit when I send it to you. Yes, right. Yeah. I'm not even going to spoil it. When I reply to this email, just peep game. I'm going to tell y'all, like Selena Kyle, the Catwoman, told Bruce Wayne in The Dark Knight Rises. There's a storm coming, Mr. Wayne. Storm is here. Storm is here. I'm here to tell you, if you're having a problem with women and not being loved and blah, 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 you need to look at yourself. You need to look at yourself. Are you lovable? Ask yourself that. You're not being respected. Are you respectable? You're not being honored. Are you honorable? You're not being trusted. Are you trustworthy? You're not receiving loyal. Are you a loyal person? Can't receive revenue. Are you giving? Because I'm here to tell you this before we wrap it up. Whether it's good, bad, evil, whatever you want to call it, if you get service, the universal law says you must be rewarded. So if you're giving service as a degenerate person that practices evil, putting out harmful things, there is a customer base for that. You shall be rewarded. That's what you got to understand. I need everybody to understand this right now. So everything that we make videos about, from genders, isms, politics, you put out the service, you shall get a reward. Reap and sow works for evil. Did you know that? Evil people put out something, they get a return. That is universal law. Every action has an equal or opposite reaction. If thou canst believe, all things is possible. So when that evil, dirty person believes, use all their energy, I'm going to get him, I'm going to get it. It's going to happen. Not all the time, but you get what I'm saying with this. You don't understand universal laws. Will they prosper in the end, enter the kingdom, have a happy life? No. But they absolutely get to reap what they evilly sow. Do you understand that? You take it from the streets to the boardroom to the stock room. How many evil traders out there that's stealing, they get a reward. Bernie Madoff got a lot of reward. They got to fall. Look what I'm telling you. I'm going to say it one more time. It's universal law. Reap and sow. Sow and reap. Whatever which way you want to put it is a universal law. You do not earn money or even make money. The mint makes money, but you get what you get in life off your amount of service. Do you understand me? If you from the street, chocolate brother, vanilla, call y'all wiggles, but that's another video. You understand the game. When you grind hard, don't you make a lot? It ends, but you get what I'm saying. So universal laws do not just work for good. What we read in the Holy Bible, the Quran, the Torah, whatever you read is universal law. Universal laws, you cannot compromise with them. They are what they are, like the law of gravity. You get on top of your house, you jump off, I guarantee you every damn time you're going to go straight down. Just climb up there as you are, like I am now. I jump on, get on this roof and jump off. Every single time I will go down. So if I'm evil and I go put out service, I go so evil day after day after day, I will get a harvest. Do you understand that? So you need to start waking up. A lot of people thinking out this candy land that you live in. How do we beat and vanquish something like we've seen in this very movie? All right, how do we do that? You just joining me, like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. When not to trust a soul. When that troll is narcissistic. When you have identified it, you best run. I come from a sector where they like to talk about the matrix, but they forgot one key rule. You see an agent, run. You know he or she is evil, just run. If you watch the great and wise prophetic show Sanford and Son, there was an episode where Lamont Sanford called himself going to go whoop JoJo Jackson's ass. No, Grady tried to warn him, told him that the oldest, now Grady is Fred's best friend, was taking care of his only son, Lamont. Told Lamont, the oldest form of self-defense is running. Facts. See a big animal, you can't whip it, you better run and zigzag, cut flips, whatever you got to do. Don't believe the hype. You identify a sociopathic, narcissistic person, just run. You're going to need a lot of help to beat that person. If you get down on that person's level, there's no coming back. Run. Literally, figuratively. Did I say that right? Dr. Red Pill? Dr. Red Pill said I said it wrong. Shout out to you, fam. Run. I've had to do it. I've had to do it. There is no dishonor in doing such things. I need you to know that real good. Please, please run. Like the Hot Boy said, you better run for it, Wody. Never knew what Wody is. I think it means a person who knows these things. I never did. I know how to run. And I know that a true narcissistic, evil person that know what they are and proud of it would do any and everything to destroy you. The game is played every day with them. When you're thinking it's all good, it's not. It's not. That's what Denzel thought in the movie Fallen. He thought he had vanquished evil by himself at the gas chamber scene, but that was not the case. And if you're just joining me, that is what we call in the movie biz a one-sheet movie poster where you're going to get a lot of information. If you look at that right now, you see Denzel and you see in his eyes, those are the eyes of confusion. Those are the eyes of not having a strong foundation of wisdom on the subject matter that he was dealing with. Then you see the title, Falling, and what we call a slug line. That's a sentence to kind of tell you what it's all about, like Star Wars, A New Hope. Star Wars is the movie. We're in the stars. They're having wars. A New Hope. The old hope is no good. Here comes a new one. So the name of this movie from 1998, starring Denzel Washington, John Goodman from Roseanne and The Big Lebowski fame, along with the great Donald Sutherland, is Fallen. And the slug line, the sentence is, don't trust a soul. And I'm here to tell you, don't trust a soul that is wicked. Don't trust a soul that is narcissistic. Don't trust a soul that is manipulative. Don't trust a soul that's a charlatan. Don't trust a soul that is a liar, a cheat. Don't trust those souls. Don't trust those souls. And how do I know? Because I've made the mistake over the years. There's some people like Walt Diddy. If you're a black sheep of your family, you are a magnet for narcissistic energy. That energy will love nothing else but to consume and destroy you. But guess what? Our bodies, our minds, our spiritual value, our health value, our appearance value, dwelling values, all those types of values are not good hosts. If you have a high spiritual and moral value, you're not a good host for evil and narcissism. If you're healthy, and I mean mentally healthy, emotionally healthy, you're not a good host. If your appearance, and no matter what you look, but you don't walk around vain, and you know you may have some muscles and six-pack abs like Walt Diddy, but it's pretty superficial. And be damned if you want to be 45 and just be wanted for that. You're not a good host. You're not a good host. Your appearance is, like I just mentioned, you're not going to be a good host. If you're not hanging in degenerate places, you're reading books, you're enjoying, it's kind of like that General Mills commercial. Celebrate the moments of your life. Gotcha. You know what I mean? You're not going to be a host. If you're happy, you're not going to be a good host. And what we found in this movie, that from the beginning we found about Denzel's character in the movie, that he wasn't a good host. The villain, the antagonist that stayed with us through the supernatural throughout the movie, intended to curse Denzel with that touch. But I'm telling you this too, if you're blind to the fact that you and I can be carriers of narcissistic energy and pass them on unknowingly, I'm here to tell you you're wrong. I'm here to also tell you that the universal law of reap and sow, when you sow something you're going to reap, works for evil people. I'm here to tell you that you are paid and rewarded by the amount of service that you give. And there's an amount of service, and there's a large clientele, demographic, genre, whatever you want to call it, of people that want fear, that want to be manipulated, that want to be lied to, that want to be cheated underneath it all. So when that liar is making all this money on YouTube and wherever, just know that you're watching the law of reap and sow. And you're also watching how that energy is just like this movie that we're talking about, and how it can touch somebody and it passes through. It cannot stay with certain types of hosts, so it has to move on. But if you're not careful and have some clairvoyance on who you are as a person, a man, a woman, it can do you harm. I just wonder, I don't know how I happened to think about this movie, but on this show, I make it my business to be an encourager, not a discourager. So how do we not be a discourager talking about this movie Fallen? Well, we know Denzel wins at the end, and no matter if it takes 10 years, 100 years, whatever, good shall always win. Struggle and power is going to show you who that person is. Someone that was living pretty good and all of a sudden it's all gone, you will truly see their character. A person that was with you from day one and now they got it all, we're going to see his, her character. But what's scary is that person that hides behind that mask and that has the power and the ability to touch somebody, to touch somebody, to touch somebody, to touch somebody. And then before you know it, you are surrounded by a lot of demonic energy and you're going to need some help. So I'm telling you, if you identify it, don't always try to fight it. Yeah. Sun Tzu said it. When you're weak, appear to be strong. So you're going to be weak when you finally figure out that you're being manipulated, that you've been robbed. Get away. Then appear to be strong. And then you calculate, is it worth going back? Is it worth addressing it? Is it worth keeping that person in? You know, I'm not talking about not loving or caring anymore, but keeping that person as someone in your circle. Has he or she, that person, place, or thing, now become a liability instead of an asset? Those are the things that make me think when I think about the movie Fallen. And before we wrap this up, we got to go back to the chat one more time, make sure I didn't miss anyone. It moves kind of fast. And boom. Deanna says it's a great movie. Shout out to you, Jeffrey. Jeffrey said, just when you think that you have the whole world by the ass, faith will prove you a liar. Wow, that is amazing. That is amazing. Damn, wish I thought of that. That is amazing. Shout out to you. Quina says, 100, K100. Shout out to you, Quina, for being the great person that you are. Sheep, I owe you an email. We're going to start wrapping this up like so. Listen, I hope you enjoyed this quick film theory that we had. Make sure if you do nothing else, I didn't spoil it too bad, go to Netflix or wherever, probably even on YouTube. Check out the movie Fallen with a young Denzel Washington who was still, I mean, the older Denzel Washington, like Mo Better Blues. You check out Officer and a Gentleman. Those are Denzel's. I bet you if you could talk to him, he would bring up a lot of these movies as, wow, I had fun doing this. And take heed to what you will see there about how that energy passes from person to person. Watch it how evil, degeneracy, especially the sector that I'm from, they could, when they make one Jada Pickett video, everybody's going to make one. That's the energy I'm talking about. That's the energy that I'm talking about. That's the conformity that's going to lead to narcissism, psychopathy, and just being the Joker. Something to think about. Hope you enjoyed this film theory lesson. I know you're used to Wellington Pumpernickel over there in the kids up, but nope. It is my free 99 therapist, Dr. Red Pill Bearstein. He came by to make sure I do a good job on this. I don't know what he thinks. It does not matter because I don't pay him. And I want to leave you with a couple things. I'll be back tomorrow with some programming, something that hit me. It will be abstract and it will be well planned and thought out the best I can. And I want you to know that you should be having a great weekend. You should be thinking positive. You should not be giving one damn what other people are saying about you because it's none of your business. It really isn't. It's going to change. The lies, the innuendo, all that BS they're saying today, it's going to change 2 weeks from now. So don't keep up. Do not take that class. And let me leave you with something that's near and dear to me. When I was 9 years old, I was a daddy's boy. That blue truck fired up. I wanted to be there. I drove it sometimes when they had a few too many to drink at the local bootlegger. That's another video. I'm not going to make it. He did leave me with this. Before he left and went to work that day and never came back, he used to tell me all the time. He looked me in his two eyes and he would call me Walter. I'm his namesake. He would say, Walter, when he looked me in his eyes. So you can do anything you want to do if you put your mind to it. As you can see, I put my mind to making this content. I put my mind to being an encourager, not a discourager. And I put my mind to being positive every day. I'm not rich. I drive a 2004 Corolla. I need to wash it. Probably won't. And I'm grateful, very grateful. So how about putting your mind into being grateful for the things that you have? Put your mind towards being content about being as special as you are. There's only one of you. I don't care if you got a twin, triplet, or quadruplet. Wow, God bless your mom. You're individual. You're different. You're special. So tell yourself that you can do anything you want to do if you just put your mind to it. Do me this one favor. It is free. Make sure that you like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss these talks, so you don't miss my workouts. And on the weekends, I like to prove not only to myself, but to the viewers, I'm not just somebody that lifted weights. I think I try to I look at myself introspectively, and I share my personal experience in the hopes that when I'm touching somebody that's touching somebody that's touching somebody, that we're encouraging and not discouraging. So you have been with, and I promise you this, that screenwriter, director, producer, Walt Diddy, who is saluting you. Have a great Saturday. It's 7:24 in the PM. No drinking and driving, no shucking and jiving. I'm gone.